A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritvika Gupta. Today we bring you our exclusive Eye on Dubai series, speaking to two Indian origin companies that have made significant strides in Dubai's business landscape. In the first segment, Shivani Agrawal, country CEO UAE CleanMax, is on the hot seat. And in the second segment, we are joined by Sumit Mittal, VP and Head of Business, Pine Labs, UAE Dubai. Now, CleanMax specializes in providing sustainable energy solutions. Shivani Agrawal, country CEO UAE CleanMax, spoke to Abhishek Sen-Gupta about the company's journey, highlighting its entry into the market and the specific opportunities. Listen in.
Shivani Agrawal, thank you so much for your time today. You are the country CEO of a company called CleanMax, and you claim to be one of Asia's largest provider of renewable energy for companies, especially in the CNI sector. Can you talk us through the start of the journey of CleanMax?
Sure. Firstly, thank you so much for doing this, Abhishek. As you rightly said, right, CleanMax is one of the Asia's largest renewable energy developer. We, as of today, have a portfolio of about 1600 megawatt peak across different customers base and across different countries as well, right? The numbers that you said, like roughly about 400 different clients across 800 different locations in 6 different regions. That definitely makes us one of the largest renewable energy solution provider. We do this in a multiple formats, solar and wind being one of the primary focus of the company. We started our operations back in 2011, and Dubai was started as first international expansion for CleanMax back in 2017. And since then, I would rightly said that we have become one of the prominent players in UAE region as well, having about 80 different operational plants and catering to different sectors like educational sector, commercial and industrial, logistics, and a lot of educational as well as government as well as non-government clients.
Interesting. In fact, I was going to ask, you moved here in 2017. That was after 6 years of having done some fabulous business in India. What sort of opportunities were you looking at when you moved to Dubai?
Yeah, so I mean, we were initially just focusing on India, which was our home country, and a lot of our customers with whom we have been working for a couple of years asked us that whether we can provide them the similar solutions in other countries as well, and UAE was one of them. Also around that time, back in 2015, DIVA had come up with a great regulation in the solar space called the Shams program. So company saw as an opportunity to basically also cater to the customer's need as well as expand its portfolio and be international. So in 2017, this office was set up as a headquarter for the Middle East operations, and since then we have been one of the prominent player, having 80 plus sites in the region itself.
Yeah, and talking about your expansion plans, your international expansion, Dubai was your first pit stop, and then it eventually became your window to the wider world. Today you operate in about 6 countries, if I'm not mistaken, or 6 different markets, let's call it that way. What are your future plans in terms of international expansions with Dubai as the base, and how easy was it for you to set your base, your first international base in Dubai?
Yeah, so I'll try to answer the question in 2 sets. One is, as you said, right, like why we chose UAE or Dubai as our international operations, first international office. Firstly, like our motto since the start had been to a sustainability partner to the consumers. And therefore, a lot of customers have asked us that, okay, we want to do similar things that we have been doing in India and other parts of the world. So that was a major push for us to go international. And UAE, because of the policies, because of the regulatory framework around the distributed solar, really helped in setting up this office as the international hub, right? Second, In terms of international operations, we recently expanded to Bahrain and Saudi, which is also being catered from this market, from this region itself. So there we have gotten ahead with a slightly different strategy. We have partnered with Kanu Group as a JV partner, because we do feel that in those jurisdictions we need like a local partner. So we have entered into a successful JV with them. We already are seeing a huge success in those markets as well. And in terms of another set of international expansion, so it's always driven by three things. One is customers adoption, second is regulatory framework, and third is, I think, the power prices. If we can offer an economic benefits to the customers, the adoption of renewable energy just increases, right? So all these, taking into consideration all these three, we always are open to opportunities and will be ready to expand to new geographies.
It's a very interesting thing that you said, adoption, and in fact I was going to ask you, and it comes at a very interesting time when UAE has been hosting COP28. It is the biggest climate conference of its kind. Of so many things that happened at COP28, the global stocktake, which is a very comprehensive review of all what was planned and promised in 2015 Paris Agreement, is now being reviewed. We've spoken about phasing out, if not completely phasing down, fossil fuels, renewable energy tripling, phasing out methane gas emissions. What is it that really, as CleanMax, interests you? And if it is renewable energy tripling, how do you see that personally from your perspective?
So, I mean, COP28 had, I think, come at the right time, right? Because now if you see across the globe, a lot of government as well as the customers are setting very ambitious targets to achieve a certain percentage of renewable energy mix, right? Some of them have actually also pledged for net zero targets, which are quite ambitious because they want to achieve these targets within next 10-20 years. Dubai has also set very ambitious targets to go almost 70% energy mix by 2015, right? And they are already in the right direction. So as CleanMax, our main and primary focus has always been a sustainability partner. So whenever there is a need, we do come up with different type of solutions. Now there are policies across the world which allows you to put solar plant at some other place and provide electricity, right? Yeah. So we are always, with the help of our customer, trying to basically come up with solution which will help them maximize the energy mix, renewable energy mix in their offsets, and also achieve their targets within the set mandates that they have.
In fact, that begs the question. You moved here in 2017. This is 2023. In the wake of COP28. If I were to ask you your assessment of the adoption of renewables amongst industries here in the region, what would you say? What's your take on that, the overall adoption?
Yeah. So I would say Dubai is definitely one of the most prominent region, and we have seen phenomenal growth in terms of adoption of solar energy. Like if you talk about any sector, whether it is logistics, manufacturing, or even commercial and industrial sectors, right? And even educational. All of the clients, when this policy was available, they have been very cognizant of the fact that this is a great policy and also this helps in climate change. So the adoption has been very smooth and very quick, and we are seeing the same growth happening day by day. So DIVA is definitely helping everyone go green and also promote solar energy in the Emirate.
Interesting. And before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, you started in 2011.
Yeah.
You moved here in 2017, 6 years later. What sort of synergies do you see between market in India and Dubai? And how would you compare the two markets? Because you essentially operate out of both.
Yeah. So I mean, when we transitioned to UAE, the main factor or the main push that we gotten was from the regulatory framework, right? The regulatory framework that was available at that time was one of the best in the world, that there was a net metering policy available, which actually, in my opinion, makes it very easy for the customers to go solar. So that was one of the push. The second is Dubai makes it very easy for the companies around the world to come and set up here, right? Like you get all kind of support, all kind of regulatory frameworks are available. So that was definitely one of the push why we chose UAE as the base for our international expansion. And I mean, we have seen the growth as well, because the adoption of solar have been at a phenomenal pace. Like today also, if you speak to the customers, they are talking about like very ambitious targets to achieve net zero targets, and also about climate change. And similarly, like Dubai government also, they are focusing a lot more on the how they can make Emirate like 70% greener by 2015, right? So all these has really helped. And in terms of synergy between India and UAE, because our headquarters are in India, we get a lot of support from India. We have a very, very strong portfolio in India as well, because we have been one of the largest players in India, and we aim to do the same thing in UAE and in the other Emirates, in the other regions wherever we go.
Shivani Agrawal, I wish you all the luck and hope to chat up with you very soon.
Thank you so much.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.